Why does a compliment feel so powerful? Why can a single criticism stay in your mind for days? And why do humans constantly look for signs that they are accepted, liked, or approved by others? The desire for validation is one of the strongest psychological forces in human life. But where does it come from? And why does the human brain care so much about what others think? For most of human history, being accepted by others was not just emotional. It was necessary for survival. Humans evolved in small tribes where cooperation was essential. If the group rejected you, your chances of survival dropped dramatically. So the brain developed a powerful motivation. Stay accepted by the group. Approval meant safety. Rejection meant danger. Even today, thousands of years later, our brains still react to social approval as if our survival depended on it. When someone approves of us, the brain releases dopamine. Dopamine is the same chemical involved in reward and motivation. It creates a feeling of satisfaction. This is why things like compliments, likes on social media, praise from others can feel surprisingly powerful. Your brain interprets these signals as you belong. And belonging is deeply rewarding for the human nervous system. But here's something interesting. The brain reacts more strongly to criticism than to praise. Psychologists call this the negativity bias. Negative feedback sticks in the mind longer. Why? Because from an evolutionary perspective, ignoring negative signals could be dangerous. If someone in the tribe disapproved of you, it could threaten your place in the group. So the brain became highly sensitive to rejection. Even today, a single negative comment can outweigh many positive ones. Modern technology has amplified this system. Platforms are designed around visible feedback, likes, views, comments. Each one becomes a small signal of social approval, and every notification can trigger a tiny dopamine response. This creates what psychologists call a validation loop. The brain begins to associate external approval with self-worth. And over time, people may begin to depend on it. Seeking validation is natural, but when external approval becomes the only source of confidence, problems begin to appear. People may start to avoid expressing honest opinions, change behavior to please others, fear criticism excessively, measure their value through reactions. Instead of asking, "Do I believe in this?" the question becomes, "Will people approve of this?" And slowly, identity becomes shaped by expectations rather than authenticity. Psychologists often talk about two types of validation. External validation comes from others. Internal validation comes from within. External validation feels good, but it is unstable. It changes depending on the situation, the audience, or the moment. Internal validation is different. It comes from knowing your values, understanding your intentions, and accepting your imperfections. It is quieter, but far more stable. People who develop internal validation tend to experience greater psychological stability. They are less dependent on constant approval. They can tolerate disagreement, and they make decisions based on personal values instead of social pressure. This does not mean ignoring others. Humans will always care about connection. But it means approval becomes feedback, not identity. The truth is, humans will probably never stop seeking validation. It is deeply wired into our biology. But emotional maturity involves balancing two forces: the desire to belong and the ability to remain authentic. When those two forces are balanced, validation becomes healthy rather than controlling. You can appreciate approval without needing it to define you. Maybe the goal is not to stop caring about what others think. Why humans compare themselves. Another powerful driver of validation is comparison. Humans constantly evaluate themselves in relation to others, not just in terms of success or ability, but also in terms of acceptance. Psychologists call this social comparison theory. The idea is simple. In order to understand who we are, we often look at other people as a reference point. We ask ourselves questions like, am I doing well enough? Am I respected enough? Do I belong here? And the answers often depend on how we perceive the people around us. Comparison can sometimes motivate growth, but it can also distort self-perception. because we rarely compare the full reality of our lives. Instead, we compare our internal struggles with other people's visible successes. Validation is also closely connected to self-esteem. People with strong self-esteem still enjoy approval from others, but they are not dependent on it. Their sense of value comes from internal beliefs about who they are. People with fragile self-esteem often rely more heavily on external signals. A compliment can lift them quickly, but criticism can also affect them much more deeply. In these cases, validation becomes a way of stabilizing identity. Instead of asking, "Who am I?" the mind starts asking, "What do others think I am?" And that difference can shape the entire way a person navigates relationships, work, and personal decisions. At the deepest level, validation is about something very human: the desire to be seen. Not just physically seen, but emotionally understood. To have someone recognize your effort, your pain, your intentions, your existence. When people feel invisible, the brain interprets that absence as a form of social disconnection. This is why recognition can feel so meaningful. Even small acknowledgements can have a powerful psychological impact because they confirm something fundamental: you matter. And that message resonates deeply within the human mind. But while recognition is powerful, it should not become the only mirror we use to understand ourselves. Healthy psychological development involves building multiple sources of identity, not only how others see you, but also how you see yourself. When identity depends entirely on external validation, it becomes unstable, because public opinion is always changing. But when identity includes internal awareness, personal values, and self-acceptance, approval becomes something different. Not a requirement, but a welcome addition. Maybe the goal is simply this: to care without losing yourself. Because approval may feel good, but self-respect lasts longer. If you're curious about psychology, human behavior, and the hidden patterns of the human mind, don't forget to subscribe to Curious Humans. New videos every week. And I'd love to know, do you think humans naturally seek validation, or do we learn it from society? Let me know in the comments.